We are still weeks away from spring planting here in Louisiana, but the battle over acreage is just beginning. The future of what we are going to grow here in the U.S. and what that will mean to you at the grocery store is the subject of this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry, and by First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933.
Well, February is the time when most farmers across the U.S. make their final decisions for planting in the coming season. This is prompted by the USDA's Prospective Plantings Report out later this month, which takes a look at farmers' intentions. Many private analysts have already released their estimates on this year's crop, and they all project a record or near-record corn crop, mostly to make up for last year's drought across the Midwest. Now, the interesting thing is that both the government and private analysts rely on interviews with farmers expressing their intent to plant. However, almost all farmers make their final decisions based on two things: what the USDA reports and what the markets are going to do based on the South American harvest beginning soon. Lately, the markets have been compelled higher as Brazil and Argentina have a number of weather problems on their own. If that holds true throughout the harvest, farmers in the U.S. are very likely to plant in record numbers because of not only favorable prices, but also many farm program payments will likely end this year. What this means is at home is good news for food prices, but not until the very long run. First, of course, this record amount of grain has to be produced. Second, the picture in the short run is not very pretty. Feedlot placements of cattle, for instance, were actually down in December, meaning the supply of beef will be even lower this year, so prices will be higher. And while they have climbed higher in recent years, it has been offset by lower prices for other food items, such as fruits and vegetables in particular. That's not true for this year. Bad weather in California and Florida have caused a spike in these prices, which means your food bill at both the grocery store and restaurants will climb. The only bright spot that may even things out is the reduction in the price of gas here lately, which will hopefully mitigate some of these higher prices. The bottom line is America's farmers and ranchers are ready to respond to these conditions and grow more food to feed the world, but we will likely not see any relief from this, Mike, until harvest time at the earliest, but very likely not until the end of the year.
Another fine example, Neil, of how the global food market affects what we pay down at the local supermarket. Neil Melancon, thanks. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's daily radio reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in or listen online, just click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and look for the LF Barn Radio link on our homepage. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Be sure to join us next week when we take you to the heart of sugarcane country to learn the challenges and opportunities facing Louisiana's #1 row crop and how that will affect you. Until then, you can watch any of our stories online. You know the address, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.